So 3 kids, Jackson being the eldest, who's about 5.5, and Jade, who's about to turn 4, and Jet, who is 10 months. So 3 kids, all with J's, triple J, as we fondly call them. But yeah, 2 boys, 1 girl.
And tell me what have been some of the challenging things you've gone through since becoming a dad.
I think for us, first-time parents was where, I mean, look, all kids are challenging, first stop. I think there's no rhyme or reason to it. You know, kids will always present you with wonderful challenges and equally ones that can be, you know, a greater challenge. So, but I think for our experience as a first-time parent, Jackson, our eldest, was born with Down syndrome. And we found out 5 minutes after he was born. So that obviously, yeah, it was a mixed blessing. It was our first child. It was a wonderful experience. It was, you know, he was presented to us, and I was a minute after I was told, "You've got a boy," and we had all the celebrations and all the rest of it. But you know, that quickly followed with you know, rushing into intensive care. So I'd say our experience as a first-time parent was certainly more interesting than most. But so yeah, you know, that was certainly a challenge. As any first-time parent, first-time kid is always, it's so new. You have no idea what you're going to do or how it's all going to be laid out. But so our first-time experience was certainly, we had a lot of excitement, put it that way. I think, you know, it's a funny thing with dads. I think when you're presented with a tough situation, we instantly go into the Arnold Schwarzenegger, you know, I must solve the solution and get, you know, fix the solution or find a, you go into that immediate problem solving. I've got to fix this. And I think with our experience, Joe was brilliant at bringing me back to, okay, this is a situation that you can't really control, nor can you fix it immediately, and you need to focus on the day-to-day. Because, and I think in that you know, there's a danger in that situation to try and get too much information, want to be given all the answers, or okay, give me warts and all, everything that we're going to have to deal with all in one go in the first couple of days, and you're certainly not ready for that. And equally, you've got a beautiful little human being that's sitting there that has, you know, I often say, I think with kids with special needs, whether it be, you know, Downs or whatever the myriad of different things that they get, they're sort of born with a veil over, you know, cloaked over them in the beginning. So you're very much concentrating on that, and that's a mistake. You want to remember. I think Joe, first thing she sort of, you know, was always maintained is that Jackson is born with a condition. It wasn't a condition. Jackson, or the condition was born in Jackson. Jackson wasn't born with. So it's sort of that reverse way of looking at it, in the sense that look at the individual and the person and the human being first, not focus on the condition. Because if you focus on the condition, you'll lose. You know, there's a little boy or a little girl there with special needs kids with a cloak over and waving, trying to say hi to their mother and their father. And I think there's a real danger to focus just on the challenge, because you want to solve it for them. You want to be a dad. You don't want that sense of failure that you kind of blame yourself in a weird sense, which is silly, and also and I think a negative experience for the child, because like any child, they want to connect with their parent, and you've got an obligation and responsibility, and you need to do that, and you need to do it very quickly, because they're going to need all the support and love that you can possibly give them. More, you know, we all know from our own experiences socially how tough it is to go through school and all the rest of it. You know, these kids are, they're the bravest kids you're ever going to meet in your life, and they've had to get over 50 times more of the degree of difficulty, which makes them even more unique, more wonderful, and I think more brave than anything, because they just keep going at the gate till they get through. And so I think there are mistakes that any parent in that situation can make, And the mistake is to focus on the condition. You've got to focus on the child first and foremost and take each day as it comes. You will learn your way through what it is that they've got as a challenge. You know, and from that they'll benefit from that, because there's no one size shoe fits all for children per se, and that's even more exaggerated when it comes to kids with special needs. What someone else's experience has been is you're going to have a different one with that child, no doubt, and you'll learn what their needs are. Some things they'll pick up really quickly, and some things that you'll have to be incredibly patient with and continue to give them, where they'll need a greater degree of support. So, and you know, it's easy to sit and in hindsight, and when everything feels so normal now, and look back and say, yeah, that's how to do it. But when you're in it, it's very difficult. So to answer your question in a very long rounded way, I think Jodie said to me, if you wanted to be the same person that you were before the event or before it happened, you need to focus on the child, not the condition. And otherwise, you know, you're in danger of just becoming someone or a dad that you weren't intending to be, if that makes sense.